went with this hairstyle because it pisses off so many people. Sean Lester. Guardians of the Galaxy 2. So, this movie, if you can get on board with this being the story of Star-Lord, you're fine. If you're looking for another, like literally a part 2 of the first episode, where it's very similar, kind of more hangover vibe, you know, where they basically took the first one and, you know, did a replica of that. This is not that. This is basically the Guardians in a completely different scenario. This is the story of Star-Lord and his dad, Star-Lord and his father. Gamora takes a back seat. Baby Groot, you're gonna get. Even Rocket Raccoon, I feel like, takes a back seat in this movie, and I'm telling you right now, it's gonna piss off a lot. It's gonna piss off a lot of people because you're not going to get the same dynamic that you did in the first movie. This one is much more. It's more story, and I would say less saving the universe. But I feel like the error in the first one was it was much more of an introductory, and then they didn't give you something to build up for the second movie. Like, it was way too much introductory, and it was way too much we gotta save the universe, and then it was very little let's build something up to take you to next time. And that was really the only flaw in part 1, because the first one was just magnificent. The second one, it's much more like a TV show where it goes into, you know, the second episode, where it gets more into Star-Lord, his father, that dynamic, and that story. And I think a lot of the villains in this one gets lost because, again, they weren't set up. It would have been a lot easier if they set it up from the first one and then they let it flow over. So we didn't get that. But my biggest problem has always been with this franchise, Thanos, because I don't know if they're going to spin off Thanos into his own movie, which would be amazing, or if this one, since it deals with Star-Lord's father, is the next one going to be talking about Thanos and his daughter? Have we covered, do we know who his daughter is? Okay, I won't say it, but no, I said it in my first video. Thanos, okay, I won't say it. But I'm interested if they're going to set it up that they're talking, since this one is about Star-Lord and his father, are they going to talk about Thanos and his children? You know, that's where I'm thinking the next one's going, since that's what they did with the second one. They've got to build up to Thanos, and and maybe that's why too she has a lesser role in this one. The next one has got to hit that peak, because that is such a huge part of Guardians. Star-Lord's family and Gamora's family. That's just big pieces that they haven't touched on at all, and it's been pissing me off for a very long time. So my theory is that's where it's going, but who knows? it has to go there. So if you are looking for this one to be an exact, you know, the same type of plot, same type of structure, you're not gonna get that. I've already said the humor feels forced and overdone this time around. The structure and the villains feel incomplete, and I keep telling y'all, it almost feels like they threw it in. It felt very half-written. I was kind of surprised. But what was really well done is Star-Lord's story. So if you go into this, like I said, if you can look at it as, you know, the Star-Lord episode, you're fine. If you're not going to take it and accept it as the Star-Lord episode, and you're expecting, you know, a continuation, and I think a lot of people are, you're screwed. I liked it. I liked him. I liked seeing him, and I liked seeing his dad. My biggest problem though is still Thanos and Gamora, because we haven't even touched on that yet, and it's making me kind of pissy. Another problem too is, again, they did the same thing they did in the first one. They haven't really set anything up for part 3. So that's what I'm saying. Maybe they used him and his father as a setup for Gamora and Thanos. If not, what a waste. because you have to. I loved it, but I think others are gonna want more of, I think you're gonna want more of that structure from the first movie. So who's going to see this? Comic book fans, most definitely. Marvel fans. You know, the whole 18 to 35 demographic, heavily male. But I think they're gonna have problems with it. I think they will have, even though I didn't, I think everyone else has problems with this one. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would give this, I give it a strong 8 because it's still good Marvel and it's still good Guardians. And it's more of it more in lines with like a comic book storytelling than it does a comic book movie, which again I'm all for. I just worry about y'all because you all need that very similar structure. Y'all need that structure the Guardians had earlier on, and you all need a very specific structure to be entertained, whereas I just need you to be true to the comic book, and I'm very happy. So it's still a strong 8 for me. Is it as good as the first one? It's just different because they have to, they have to continue the story, and it cannot be exactly the same. This is not The Hangover. But the humor was forced. I need more Thanos, and some more structure and setting up the next one would have been greatly appreciated. So let me know if you're going to see it, and let me know what you think of it so far. But that's it for me. Explore the greatest genre, live long and prosper. Like I said, bye.